Chad, congratulations on your nomination for South African of the Year, and well deserved. Let us start right from the beginning. How did you get into swimming?
Wow. How I got into swimming was actually many years ago when I was about 7 or 8 years old. I wasn't any good at team sports. I used to blame my other teammates for losing all the time. And, when you're young, you just try out different sports. And I think, obviously coming from Durban, you try swimming. And I think ever since I started swimming, I just, almost had a natural feel for the water. And, when I was younger, it just started improving. And the rest is rock and roll history.
Were you a beach baby?
I was a little bit, yes, definitely. When I was about 10 to about 14, I used to surf almost every weekend. But obviously when the swimming started getting more serious, that's when, obviously the focus came in.
Did it just come to you naturally?
I think swimming, in a way, you have to have a little bit of natural talent for sure. You have to have a natural feel for the water. But obviously it's obviously a lot of hard work. It's not it's an individual sport. There's no teammates to help you in any way. It's just you and the black line on cold days. So, for me it was just about just getting through my teen years and just, trying to build up the stamina and the skills necessary to be the best.
You burst onto the scene after the Youth Olympic Games, and that's when everybody knew who Chad was. And since then, you've had a stellar career. How do you choose a highlight?
Well, the highlight's easy. I think obviously the Olympic Games. The gold medal against Michael Phelps. That was, I think, if I look back in my career when I retire one day, that will be. It may not be the highlights of my whole career, but it will definitely be up there because, that moment for me was something I dreamt about as a kid growing up. You look at someone almost in awe, and then you beat them 8 years later. It's a crazy thing to think about.
Do you remember what was going through your mind when you knew you actually beat him?
Wow. I just remember touching the wall and just remembering that, this is crazy. This is like a dream, Like I say, I idolized the guy my whole life, and I beat him by 5 splits, which is the way he usually wins by. So it's almost like I beat him at his own game. And I mean, that's the way we've been practicing, for years before to try and hopefully beat him. I mean, obviously we didn't really. I mean, we believed it was going to happen, but when it happens, it's almost surreal to you,
Is that when you knew or you felt that you could do anything?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I always believed in myself. I didn't really need Michael Phelps to help me. I mean, I always, right from when I started swimming, I always believed that somehow, some way, I would hopefully be the best swimmer in the world. Whether I was going to be a soccer player or a doctor, I wanted to be the best at what I did. And I think, beating Michael Phelps, sure, that definitely made me believe that I can do anything. But, that's just added to my motivation, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. What inspires you in life?
I think people inspire me, great people, great sportsmen, people that do well. I mean, especially South Africans, watching the Springboks, beat the All Blacks, that inspires me. Watching the Proteas, be the best test team in the world. And I think just, watching other, young athletes come through, especially now, watching a lot of the youngsters, especially from the Commonwealth Games, come through and, step up and make a name for themselves. I think that's great.
I think that's the case for every South African. I mean, it's such an inspiration to see fellow South Africans doing well on the international stage. For you, Chad, what profound memories do you have of your childhood?
Wow. I just remember my dad always telling me the story how when I was really young, he used to spray the hose pipe on me. I don't know why, but I had a bit of a lisp, and I used to always say, "No, Dad, stop it. For some reason, I don't know if I remember that, but he's told me that so many times, but something to do with water. But I mean, we've had so many great memories over the years, especially with my family, all my 3 siblings, and we've just we've had fun along the way, so it's great.
And you're a very close family. You see your dad and your mom traveling with you all around the world. Is this sort of what made you the person you are?
Definitely. My mom and my dad especially have shaped me into the person I am today. I think if it wasn't for them, obviously I wouldn't be here today because, they've taught me all my morals. Especially my dad, he's helped me a lot in my sport and almost being like a mentor to me. He was always there to, if I've had a bad day, I can always bounce ideas with my dad. We're really, really close. And I think also just having my mom and she's gone through a lot of, in the last couple of years. And I think she's, an amazing woman. And I think it's amazing that I have such a nice big family to rely on.
Your dad's just as big of a celebrity as you are.
Probably bigger.
Do they enjoy traveling with you around the world? It's quite difficult living out of a suitcase.
Oh, it is. I've got used to it, obviously, for me, but for my parents, I think it's fitting that they travel and support me wherever I am. I think I was very lucky this year at the Commonwealth. I had both my parents, my younger brother and my older brother, and his wife were there. And my mom's twin, my uncle.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it was a lot of us wearing the team Chad the Clos shirts, and that was awesome, just to have them in the corner and, to know that wherever I am around the world, I have, not only the 7 or 8 people that were there, but just having everyone back home supporting me.
What are some of your hobbies? What do you do when you're not swimming?
Well, playing PlayStation is a given.
Are you good at it?
I'm very good. Very, very good. I'm not going to be too arrogant about it, but I'm pretty sure I can beat a lot of people in South Africa. So.
What is your favorite game on PlayStation?
I only really play one game. I only play FIFA. So, yeah.
And who's your team?
Man United, of course.
And do you think they're going to win this season?
I think we're going to win by 4 points.
I like that. Tell us what a day in the life of Chad the Clos looks like.
A day in the life of Chad the Clos. Well, on a Monday, basically Monday, Wednesday, Friday are usually the same. I wake up at about 5:30. Training starts at 6:30, but we usually get there quite early to stretch. And then it's about 2 to 2.5 hours of swimming. And then we have usually Tuesdays and Thursday mornings off. And every afternoon at about 2:30 till about 5 we're training. And then 3 times a week I'm at gym or core sessions. And once on Saturdays. So basically it's a non-stop job for me, but it's good fun, I guess.
You have quite a big group of friends.
We do. We have a lot of swimmers that we're all really close. It's really nice. A lot of the older guys, we're all the same age. We're all in our early 20s. And what's really nice is we're a really competitive squad. I mean, I think it's safe to say that we're the best squad in the country, team-wise. I mean, we could probably challenge a lot of the universities in America if we had to stand up and race them. But, we have a lot of guys that are, like I say, knocking on the door and, wanting to make the Olympics in 2 years' time. But also we have a lot of, guys that have been there and they've done things. So it's nice to have that mixture.
Chad, what do you do, apart from the hobbies that you've told us, playing PlayStation? Where do you like to go out? What do you like to do with your friends?
Well, I mean, we like to, either get together once a week, either at my house, or we go out for dinner. We don't often get a chance to go out and party, so to speak, but every year from Boxing Day through to New Year's, we're usually in Cape Town. Nice. There's so many of us. We usually have 5 guys from Durban, and then it's usually about 4 or 5 friends from Cape Town. We stay at my friend's house in Camps Bay, and we just have a crazy time.
Now, we were talking about you traveling all over. Do you have a certain meal that you must have when you come home?
Well, I think I miss my dad's cooking a lot, especially when I travel, and I think I obviously love my dad's steak and his pastas, but also he makes a mean chicken curry.
Can you cook?
No, not so good. Not so good.
And when you're away, is there something that you must have when you're overseas?
I like to have the local food wherever I am. We actually last year were in Dubai, and we had well, it's not really local, I guess, but we had a very nice Turkish kind of restaurant where it was just like little plates of food. I really love that, like shawarma kind of wraps and hummus and all those sauces and chilies and like little chicken strips. I like that kind of food. So yeah, that was fun.
Nice. Now, my producer said I have to ask you, what is your favorite pickup line to get the ladies?
Oh. I used one the other day. I think someone tweeted about it. I used to say, when I was younger, I used to say, "Hi, how heavy is a polar bear? Heavy enough to break the ice. I'm Chad." It works now after Olympics. Not before.
Do you get quite a few people coming up to you when you're at a shopping or just out on the beach asking for autographs?
It happens quite a few times, I guess, but it's fun. It's something I've always enjoyed, to have a lot of fans in South Africa and around the world. So for me, it's not I think a lot of people say it's a burden, or they, how do I say it, not happy to take photos. But for me, it's nice. It's nice to I mean, I know what it's like to be a fan. Yes. I still am a fan to a lot of people. So like it's cool to see what how it makes other people feel.
Chad, if you had to choose one place to live in South Africa, where would it be?
I think the one place, obviously Durban, because I live here, but I really love Cape Town. I could see myself living there maybe one day, but I think it's good that I'm Durban. I think the lifestyle in Cape Town's pretty rock and roll, and there's a lot of distractions, should I say. But Durban's cool for now.
Do you have a favorite place in Durban?
Favorite place? I guess, I'm usually at home a lot, I'm not going to lie. I don't usually go out that much. We usually we entertain a lot at home. My parents and my family comes over, and my friends, FIFA nights, poker nights. But I like the beach. I'm quite a keen surfer. Me and my younger brother, we go down to the beach sometimes on a Sunday, and we hit back a few waves. So yeah.
Your younger brother's also swimming, up and coming. Is he taking over the reins at some point?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, he's really enthusiastic about it. I think he's still pretty young. He's 16 now, and I think he's just got to keep going. And like I say, the world's your oyster. If you can just have a dream and stick to it. I don't see why anyone can't achieve their goals. He's a really talented kid. So yeah.
What do you think it means to be South African?
I think you have to be proud of your heritage. If you proudly South African, you got to be proud of what we've done in the past, and we've come such a long way, since everything in the past. And I think, if I look at it from an Olympic perspective, a sports perspective, if it wasn't for people like obviously Nelson Mandela, Sam Ramsamy, we would still be in the dark ages. We would still be in isolation. And I know that we're relatively new, and I know South African public put a lot of pressure on our athletes, and I think we are stepping. As swimmers, I should say, we're stepping up, and I think it's really amazing to see how far we've come in however many years, and I think it's really, really cool to see that.
What would you like to see the future of South Africa look like?
I think it would be nice to see more people, less negative stuff. In the media you see so much negative press. The other day, to see a man get, they robbed him, they hijacked him, and then, he's turning his back, and then they shoot him. What is that? That's ridiculous. To see that is just, it's pathetic. And to see less of that, and to just see, youngsters in the streets, like the Minister of Sport actually says, try to be like the sportsman, and not be like these drug addicts or rappers or whatever, that make money and drive these fancy cars. Try aspire to have a clean life. And I think the only way we can do that is get, more involved in sports at a young age. And, education is key, because if we're not, everything starts with that. Knowledge is power, so yeah.
Chad, you've won medals all over the world, become one of the biggest swimmers in the world, and yet you remain so down to earth. Is that your parents doing?
Definitely. Definitely my parents doing. I think it's really awesome because I have such an amazing grounding. We're actually, funny enough, we were watching a program last night, and for me, I've always, it's very good to be polite and have manners. And I think we were watching one of the shows, and the guy was like, I don't know, we were doing an interview like this, and I don't know who it was, and he had his glasses on. I was like, Dad, what's that guy doing? Why is he wearing his glasses on? He's like, my boy, he doesn't have a father like me to tell him to take his glasses off. So I thought about that, and I'm like, probably if I was like him, a celebrity like that, I would, think it's cool to have your shades on, but that's what I mean.
What is the best advice you got?
Best advice I think I've ever been given was by my dad. He taught me from a young age never to give up, whether that's in a race or in a competition or just in life in general. I think everybody eventually has to go through tough times, and you just got to back yourself and stick by it. So yeah, that's what my advice to others is.
If you had to retire one day, and hopefully it's not anytime soon, what would you do? Would you carry on with coaching, or do you have other plans?
It's for me right now. My goal is 2016. After 2016, I think I'm going to start thinking about which route I'm going to go. But I've always, my first love is actually soccer. I don't want to say I want to go into professional soccer, but I think once I'm done swimming, I do want to play a bit of soccer on the side, whether that's for a local team, here in Durban. But it's something I do want to do. But otherwise from that, I want to open up the Chad Clos Foundation, and open up a swim school.
Nice.
I think so. That's something I'm looking towards doing sometime.
So if you weren't a swimmer, do you think you would have been a footballer?
No, definitely, 100%. Yeah.
Any specific team you have in South Africa that you admire?
Oh, well, I don't want to be too biased, but I mean, I support the national team. I don't want to, get caught up in a war. Yeah, get home and.
Some Chiefs or Pirates fans out the door.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Chad, what is your next goal? Of course, you said Rio 2016, but personally, what would you like to achieve still in life?
For me, there's a lot of things I want to achieve in and out the pool. I think obviously the Olympics is the main goal for me, and I want to secure myself as one of the greatest swimmers ever in Rio. Hopefully, touch wood. And then obviously after Rio, I just want to see what happens. Like I say, not too sure how much longer I will swim for. It won't be obviously like 1 or 2 years. It'll be a lot longer than that, but. Michael Phelps' record of 18 gold medals is really hard to catch. I mean, he had the privilege of swimming, having relays and winning gold medals. Unfortunately, in South Africa, without sounding, disrespectful, but we don't really quite have the depth that America does. So, for me, I just want to be the best swimmer that I can be. So, yeah.
Your advice for youngsters in South Africa?
In South Africa, my advice for youngsters in South Africa is, like I say, never to give up, and just to, you always got to see a dream. I've always said that you got to kind of follow a dream that maybe nobody else will see but you. I've always had this vision that one day I would be Olympic champion, and I never let anybody tell me I couldn't do that. If you read my book, unbelievable, you will see there were a few people that told me when I was young that I shouldn't do butterfly. My stroke wasn't right, and look where I am today. And I think I think it's with anything, whether you want to be a lawyer, a teacher or whatever, just, when it comes down to studying, and I think, a lot of distractions, like I say, especially in your teen years, going out and partying, you just have to sacrifice that for the end goal. That's what I did, so yeah.
Chad, thank you so much for speaking to us, and we wish you all the best. We have no doubt that you're going to break that record.
Thank you very much. Cheers.